Hello, my name is Mario. I'm one of the co-founders of Oversea Games. I'm CEO of the studio.
I'm Tomislav Mifokovic, and I'm the art director on Kaiserpunk.
I'm Daniel, one three. I'm the lead designer of Kaiserpunk.
When we started working in games industry, we were actually quite new to the industry. So there was a lot of things we had to learn. There was a lot of things we didn't know. It was much easier working in an environment where everybody is basically on the same level and everybody is trying to learn something new.
I started playing games when I was really a small kid, and ever since then, I wanted to make games. Until I got my first, let's say, kind of professional gig. And then I said, I want to make games on my own.
We had one PC at home, it was like expensive at the time. So we had to argue and fight whoever wins more hours of gameplay. And we're still doing it. We have more machines, but we're still kind of doing it.
We all love games, we all like working on games, so it made sense to simply group up and start making our own games. You can play it in your own personal style, however you want to play it. You don't have to conquer the world. It's not mandatory. We want the game to feel fresh and engaging, not just for a couple of hours, but for dozens of hours. We intentionally went for one large capital city to micromanage, and then the world stage, the Empire stage, because we didn't want any loading screens while you're playing the game. That's why we avoided numerous smaller cities. That made some technical difficulties we had to overcome, but I think it makes the game more engaging, more fun. The grand strategy element seems like a good fit to expand on a city building. If you have the time and you don't make an overly complex game, yeah, it's doable. It can be a lot of fun to have both those points of view on the game.
The feeling of accomplishment when you start really small, like from placing the first housing, all the way to create a massive cityscape, and then going forward to the world map and make your empire count. You have a living world outside your city. You react to, you talk to, you can wage war with, you can trade with them, you can make them hate you, you can make them love you or actually ally with you. So you really have the feeling of a lot of stuff going on the global scale, really outside of your city.
Kaiserpunk is basically based in an alternative setting. There are quite a few characters and in general territories that draw inspirations from something that existed there before them, or some characters that were known throughout the history, but they're not the same characters as we had from our own reality, and that was basically intentional because the idea was to actually make a clean slate for all the players.
A city can be massive. That's one of the original goals and rules we set out when we started designing the game. The size of your capital can be really massive. I do not expect anyone to completely fill the entire map ever, simply because you're not able to just fill the land mass. You can also build on water. In the Kaiserpunk, we just didn't limit how far from the land you can build. If half of the map is an ocean, you can fill that half of the map.
Since it's a hybrid genre, it combines two genres. It was quite interesting to see how that's going to work out. When we had the first prototyping phases and also later when we had the first playable versions for public, it was basically the same question for everybody. How is that going to work? Everybody was intrigued. When we first started playing the playable versions, then we were actually quite happy to see that, yes, it actually does work. I think that was the most complicated thing, but also one of the most rewarding things.
Combining something that is inherently small scale when compared to managing the entire world, it makes sense to link those two. That you have to do something in your city and that has reciprocity on the global map and vice versa.
We didn't want to emphasize the grid-based, actually the opposite. So we're remodeling the entire blocks of buildings actually in place in your city. And that allows us to make the city look as organic as possible. And not only in the perspective from the camera from top down, but also from the horizontal, practically almost first person view. We really like the way it kind of turned out.
Sephat was the first game in my memory that I played that actually didn't include killing or carnaging anybody. It was just do something creative, and the same the same good feeling of achievement that you get from any other games was achievable here as well. It left a really, really good mark in my memory. I'm not sure is it because I'm old now and I remember it fondly from a young age.
If I remember correctly, and my memory isn't what it used to be, I would say SimCity was the first takeaway. Takeaway was, oh, I like city building games. That's mostly it. Then later came my favorite pure city builder would be City Skylines, because it simply brought that SimCity formula, I don't know how many notches up. When I'm looking at the production-focused city builders, I would definitely say Anno. I like survival builders as well, like Banished and Kingdoms Reborn. Even, I mean, we made Patron as well, so it's a different kind of city builder. But I personally prefer Anno style when it comes to production-based.
Two inspirations. First of them is Anno. I really love that series, played from the first part way back, and Civilization definitely for the global layer of the grand strategy layer of the game, 4X grand strategy.
It's very easy to know what to expect from somebody, how they will react to certain situations, because it's much easier to work with people that actually share the same ideas and the same passion you have, and it was quite challenging, so we had to learn a lot of things together. Imagine that you're talking about a number of game features and how they work well and how they work or they don't work at all, and you talk about them like you're on a family dinner.
We're probably more open to each other when it comes to things we like or dislike.
I can always tell them to flip off if necessary, and vice versa. Nobody's gonna get angry, and actually we get quite good stuff from that kind of work dynamics. There's no hassle there. You can always smack your brother right in the face, and then you can always deal. Like when we were 7. It's easy and really effective speed-wise, because there's no bushing around, beating around the bush. You know, there's like we're 7. You know. Let's discuss this matter. Right now, it's gonna be agreed upon this way or another.
It's different than working with any other coworker. Basically, that's very different feeling, but it helps share ideas much faster and in a much more direct way. And you can also swear. Since Kaiserpunk is a game quite unlike most other games out there, I would like to have an overseer one day synonymous to a new type of game. If this could be a standard for more similar games like this to appear and to be at the forefront of basically creating a new subtype of genre, that would make me very proud, and I think we can continue innovating in this genre.
That would be one of the aspects of what we want to do in the future as well, and extend them. Combine them in weird ways, see where we can what we can achieve. There's plenty more history to cover, 50 plus more years of history to cover, and I would love for Kaiserpunk to grow bigger and expand to cover those time periods as well.
We have a lot of stuff on the brainstorming board, we call it. A lot of great ideas. There's a lot of 20th century that isn't covered in Kaiserpunk yet.
Kaiserpunk is by far ahead of everything else we did. All games we did were complicated. I think we're never going to make a simple game, so it can only get more complicated from here, but we're going to be good at that, at least.
Okay, folks, thank you for watching. That's it from us for today. And we hope to see and chat with you more on the socials and on the streams we have in store for you guys.
Thank you, and stay tuned.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.